What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is McNuggets, and I am showing you guys today some gameplay of a deck that I've been playing for the last week and a half or so. And what's been going on is, if you watched last month, around the end of the month, beginning of this month, we managed to get to Mythic with a loot deck, right? In the new format, we're playing the loot, the resonating loot. And I think this is basically the deck. Yeah, it was Mathematics, resonating loot. And this is the first time in a long time that I got to Mythic. So I was pretty excited and I was pretty pleased. And I was kind of looking, once I made it to Mythic, to make this into a best of three deck. And then it was right at the end of the season, so I didn't really get to do a lot with it. Um, and I ended up not really winning a lot at the Mythic level, so I never got out of the percentage points. In fact, I dropped to like 85% or something like that by the time the season was over. So this deck was fun. It was pretty cool. It was a little bit tough managing all the threats as I was trying to like get to loot Mathematics, but it was pretty. Once you got to the win, if you watch the footage or any, I don't know how much gameplay footage I made. Um, it was a fun deck to play. It's very kind of like puzzly and working out like how to like do this when they tap out, where you can interact, and just trying to stay alive in the right spots. But to do the like coup de grace, like to do the big finish and do the resonating loot into Mathematics was pretty easy to get to 7 mana, untap with a loot in play and a Mathematics, and you can win the game, right? It was just a matter of staying alive. And the format was not too different than it is now, but we've had a Pro Tour since then, and we've had other decks like sort of come up, and you've seen like Landfall become way more prevalent, more so than it was before. It's a little bit more of a solved deck, especially with the Selesnya version. They've added in removal and interaction, so Landfall's pretty good. This deck really didn't make any appearances. I don't think it was represented at all. Excuse me, in like the top eight. I don't think a lot of Prismari decks were represented in the top eight of the Pro Tour this year. This last Pro Tour at Secrets of Strixhaven, but specifically not like any loot decks. This was not a thing. So I was quite pleased that I was able to build a deck that got me to Mythic, especially it's been a long time. And like I said, as you know, if you watch my content at all, or as time goes by, you'll see that I'm mostly in Izzet Mage, and I like to play blue-red a lot. So yeah, but one of the other cards that came out in Secrets of Strixhaven was the Colorstorm Stallion. And the Colorstorm Stallion is this cool horse, elemental horse, that says, when you cast an instant sorcery, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn, but if you spend 5 or more mana, you get a token that's a copy of it. And there's a lot of players doing a lot of things with this card. In fact, this was in a deck, from what I'm aware. At the Pro Tour, they made a sort of Molten Core Maestro Colorstorm Stallion deck that didn't do very well. And I think the idea was that they expected a lot of Izzet Spelementals as part of the meta, and the horse is great against Spelementals because it doesn't get bounced by Sunderflock. So if you manage to get it down and start to establish a presence with it, um, you kind of can keep parity and actually make a big push against the Spelemental deck. However, Landfall was better positioned in the Pro Tour and performed like a lot better. So it didn't really matter, right? Is the whole point. And also when I build decks and when I brew, especially when I see a card like this where I was like, this looks great. I want to do stuff with it. I try not to look at what other people are doing because I want to come to my own conclusions around the card and around like how I think the deck should feel by the time I get to like my final build. So this build was like ground up and then work down and then make cuts here, make changes there. But this is the deck that I built that got me from basically Diamond 1 to Mythic, right? We made Mythic again with this deck. And it was really cool because another thing that when I saw this card is like one of my younger brothers. I have two younger brothers. One of them passed in 2020, and he was a horse trainer, and he loved horses. My family has always been into horses, and when I saw this card, I was like, oh, I would love to make this card like shine for him, And it was his birthday. It would have been his birthday like 2 days ago, like Saturday. So yeah, when I saw this card, I wanted it to be good. I wanted it in my colors. I wanted to do something cool with it, and I wanted to kind of like do something with, make this deck work just to like honor my brother's memory because I want to enjoy playing with this card and win with it. You know what I mean? So we put this deck together. This is what it sort of boiled down to at the end. Um, Basically, with the Stallion, like I said, the other builds that I saw are generally trying to work the Molten Core Maestro angle, which, having tried to build some Maestro decks and having limited success with them, you it's nice to have like a backup threat to the Maestro, right? So the Stallion makes sense in that sense because you can do like two angles of attack between the Stallion and the Molten Core Maestro. They can't generally, it's hard for them to keep on top of both. And really what you're trying to do is push yourself to the point where the Maestro goes infinite, which isn't really that difficult. Um, it's just a matter of getting it to stick, and there's just like a lot of removal, a lot of target removal, and then of course like the decks that prey on you the most are things like the Jeskai decks, where they're going to be able to counter a lot of things. Decks that are playing Mistrise Village make it difficult to interact and difficult to protect your creatures. They can cast, board wipe. Some of them are playing. So there's a lot of ways that it's like difficult to push the Maestro to the point of going infinite. Because most people are aware that it's going to do that, right? So they save their interaction for the Maestro when they see the deck that looks like a Maestro deck. And then they start dumping their interaction when they realize you're not going to play one when they see like this deck, for example. And like I said, the Stallion is in that deck as well, but it's serving like a secondary role, right? So what I was trying to do was I thought, well, the Maestro isn't doing much. It's kind of a dead card in the sense that like I'm building a package around making the Maestro go infinite, and I'm not like paying attention to like why the Stallion could be the best card in the deck, right? The Stallion is not going to make you go infinite, right? But the Stallion itself does so much work because of how easy it is to copy it. So, we want most of the spells we're going to cast to cost 5 mana, right? Just to get the copies of the Stallion on the battlefield. And sometimes it's just serving a defensive purpose. So that's the beauty of the flexibility of this card is even though we're limited on the threat, only having 4 copies of one creature, knowing when and where we're able to play it is a big part of that. And sometimes you don't need to protect it. You just need to have enough mana to cast a spell in response that's going to allow it to get copied. So when they kill the original version, you've got a copy still left on the battlefield to untap with, right? So in this deck, you want to make mana more than you want to like. I know you make mana with the Maestro, but by the time you're making mana with the Maestro, you're just going infinite. So it doesn't really matter. You've won the game. In this deck, you want to make enough mana so that when you stick the Stallion, you can kind of protect it one way or another, and then on the next turn untap and start doing spells that cost 5. And then hopefully if you can get to like 10 mana and you can do 2 of these spells, especially with like an Ashley's Command and you make treasures, then you can cast it twice. You can do like Copy the Horse and Treasure. Then you get like 3 horses and then you cast it again, Copy the Horse, make Treasure. Now you've got like 7 horses and then you cast a spell that like gives them all +1 and now you're going to like win on one swing, right? So like I said, the point of the deck is to like make the mana and basically control the board in front of you on the first 4 to 5 turns before you can stick like a tablet, holding up counter magic, holding up interaction, and then once you've kind of moved through that turn, then you play a Stallion, try and protect it, try and go wide on the board and kill them. In other games, they're just going to like interact with the Stallion way too much and it's just difficult to get it to stick. That's okay. We have 4 dramatic critiques. At the end of the day, we want to make the game go long enough so that by the time we want to still be alive and within range to either make enough Stallions to attack them down for lethal or to cast 1 or 2 dramatic critiques from all the mana we have. Just from grinding the game out to like turn 8, 9, 10, we might have a couple tablets. We play 3 steps ahead. So again, like we can counter a spell and copy the Stallion, which is going to copy it anyway because you're spending 5 mana to do that, or 6 mana, right, for that one. Um, and the same with like the tablet, right? You can copy the tablet with 3 steps ahead. You can counter a spell, copy the tablet, or just draw cards and copy the tablet. You get more mana from making copies of the tablet. Plus, this spell, like I said, a lot of the time you can cast it for 5 or more mana. Same with Burst Lightning. Interact early, cast it late game for 5 or more mana, or 5 mana. Ashley's Command, huge. And then Prismari Charm and Abrade and Negate are really there to help you like manage the early turns and stop your opponents like establishing like their threats, right? So there you go. All that being said, we managed to get from Diamond to Platinum, or to Platinum, it's the wrong way around. We can't even go that way, right? You get stuck at every new level. We managed to get from Diamond to Mythic with this deck. And like I was saying, last season with the Resonating Loot Mathematics deck, I didn't really, when I got to Mythic, I wasn't really advancing. Well, this deck, we've been doing some winning. When I got to Mythic numbers, after you get through the percentages, it put me in at 1800. I played a few games last night, a little bit higher than 50%. Um, and I think when you sleep, your thoughts go down a little bit, like when you're inactive. But yeah, we are in the numbers, and we are above 1800. So I thought I'd show you guys some gameplay, and hopefully I don't screw it up too much because sometimes it's a little complicated, and sometimes you just need to like slam the horse on turn 3 and make them like deal with it while you're trying to snowball your aggression. So for here, for example, we don't have like a lot of early interaction. But we're on the draw, so we're gonna see like 2 cards before turn 2, which hopefully will be some of our early game interaction. We've got a Traumatic Critique, we got a 3 steps ahead. We got Ashleen's Command, which is really important in the late game, like once we've established a horse, but also Ashleen's Command, if you have never found a horse, you just want to, like, at their end step, be casting it, draw 2, make 2 treasures, build up your cards in hand, build up your mana, so we can go for like a big Traumatic Critique if we need to. So having all said all that, we're going to keep this hand. Hopefully it's not bad. And as you can see, 1538. And we will try and do better. Okay, the Prismari Charm is going to be very useful because I might have to bounce this Moon Shadow. But there you go, like there's our turn 2 interaction. We need an island. Upper Mountain Heavy. Okay, Cool but Rude. We could die easily to Cool but Rude because once they've turned it on, but that might be what we have to bounce with Prismari Charm, but I'm going to need to find enough mana to do both. But this is fine for now, just bouncing the Moon Shadow. He won't have an attacker to proc the Cool but Rude. He might have to just invest in, well, I guess he can do both now, in turning on level 2. Negative. Okay, so make him discard cards. We don't have any damage from Cool but Rude right now, so we want to just make him discard cards while it's not leveled up. So he's discarding it to make it indestructible. It's also going to pump the Moon Shadow. So the question is, do I attack the Moon Shadow now and kill it? Because he won't be able to give it enough discards, right, to pump the Moon Shadow to a 3. But maybe he will. Or do I hit the elf again because he has to discard again in response? I really wanted to save. Yeah, no, I can't do it all. I think we just hit the Moon Shadow, so it definitely dies. Theoretically, unless he can discard 2 more permanents, and then we're kind of blown out. But I don't know. We'll see. Looks like he's going. Yeah, looks like he's going for it. Yeah, he's gonna be on 4. All right. Semi-blown out. He ditched his whole hand, though, without being able to activate Cool but Rude. I have to try and figure out a way to navigate this now. But I think I'm just dead. I think we're just dead. I think we hit another Prismari Charm. We might be okay. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we're just dead. We make him discard now to the elf with Traumatic Critique, but I think we just die from Cool but Rude being procced, and then Moon Shadow goes up. I'll show you. There's just no way to do it all. So, good game. Hopefully we can take down one on this video. Suddenly let run to a bunch of decks I can't beat. I haven't even played against this deck on the way up here. It wasn't a permanent. But yeah, no good. Alright, good game. Well, that's not a good start. 1766, pretty much back to where we hit the numbers last night. But like I said, you when you get to Mythic, you're at like 95% or something like that. So we had to win a bunch of games to get to the numbers. So like I said, the deck's been performing pretty well. I just want to be able to show you guys how it works, and that was a rough one. Iron Shield Elf's difficult. I don't think I wanted. I mean, I could have just tried to bounce the Moon Shadow, but I was thinking, well, if I can get him to empty his hand, he doesn't have 3 actual more permanents, but he had every other card with a permanent in his hand. All right, going first, we have interaction, but we don't really have. It's better to have 3 lands, but Traumatic Critique might be enough to do some filtering. And we got Thundering Falls on turn 1, so if I see a land, it'll help. And we can dig for a land. I just want to explain how the deck works because it really is fun and it really does good work. But I'm gonna face like a ton of just like mega aggro fucking decks that I just flounder against because I didn't get a good starting hand. Well, at least there's a target for that. So there are a few games where negates are like, I just draw 3 negates early and they're just dead in my hand and I've lost those games. But overall, it's been a very, very good card. If you saw like at the beginning of the video when I was looking at the deck list, like it's 4 3 steps ahead. It's 4 of everything. Every card you see, there's just 4 because we want to be like mega consistent, and it does help. It's like that some games you're just not going to win, but I'm not interested in worrying about those games. I'm more interested in just trying to win, right? That's like our job. And so we have enough interaction to where, occasionally it's going to sit in our hand and not work. But for the most part, these decks are awesome. They're like super, super fast. But for the most part, we're going to be doing plenty of stuff. Okay, so I can't do 2 things. But I can kill one thing and block another, because the Stallion will be pumped. So hopefully that's good enough. Keep us alive. Forsaken Miner. He's gonna have fucking haste, right? Because he's a skeleton. Skeletons have haste. So if I counter it, is it better? I think I just die here. Yeah, I think I just die. I can't do enough. I kill one, I block one, the other 2 get through. Yeah. 2 fast dead games. This is one of the decks that I struggle against the most. It's very difficult to kill all the skeletons, and especially when they start like bouncing corpses of the lost. God, it would suck if you guys just watch me like fall into the percentages. Because we do pretty good with this deck. We have been doing really well with this deck, and now I'm on like I think 4-game losing streak. Right before I started filming the video, I lost a couple. But I want to show you guys. I want to share with you, and like I said, it means something to me, and it's like amazing that we got to Mythic back to back. And I know it's like another Izzet deck, but it is a very different shell. I like heavy interaction, so you're just going to see that. This is a good hand, especially on the draw. It just sucks that we keep getting 2 land hands instead of 3 land hands, but we should be able to find another land pretty easily between Prismari, Charm, and Critique. We just have a lot more ways to interact early, which will keep us going. Not a land. Green. Alright, so it could be landfall, or it could be some sort of combo deck. The other decks we really struggle against mostly are like the Superior Spider-Man, right? The one that it's like I could take the counter, I could take the colorless mana. Right, we can just play maybe yeah, and play a Stallion, but I think I just need to kill the Cheering Crowd because these things, if they get out of control, they're fucking crazy. So we play land and just abrade it. It sucks. If I don't draw a land, it's gonna suck to have to tap out basically to find a land. And that's where we struggle the most with this deck, is if we don't go like 3-drop, like hit 3rd, 4th, 5th land pretty smoothly. But we do have a lot of interactions, so as long as we can stay on top of what they're doing for the most part, it won't be too bad. See, that's tough. I think I need to try and find land, because we're just going to fall super far behind. Beautiful. Okay, we need the red now. That's great. Hopefully this will keep us going. The Leyline Weaver is kind of a problem, but we'll take care of the Badger Wolf up first. Because if he plays like another one, then it taps for like 3, the land that are awakened. Yeah, he's feeling happy. Ew. I mean, we can kill the Twin Flame Tyrant, which is probably what we have to do because it's just going to do so much damage. The problem is, like, if he has another one, we're going to be tough shape. But I think just play it now. Just kill it now, so he doesn't have any protection spells like he can use. And yeah, and see where we end up. If he plays another one, it's going to be tough. But if I go land, Colorstorm Stallion, bounce something is not too bad. Alright. Alright. Decline. Alright, this isn't bad. Did he get for each counter, right? So do we bounce the Leyline Weaver? Definitely gonna get him for damage. Do it like this. All I'm thinking is just like slow him down like tempo wise, but what the is this gonna deal 4 damage? Yeah. And he's got the stupid Leyline Weaver. Oh. Okay, there's that. I guess he figures I just can't kill him, which is kind of right. Let's see here. I get a second whenever it enters or attacks. That's tough. I can't do enough to kill it. I guess I... So again, we're going to lose again. I have to stop it from attacking. You got to play to your outs, right? I'm going to draw 2, discard 1, right? So I need to basically hit it with this for 3, and then I need to draw an untapped land and have my Burst Lightning in hand still as well. Otherwise, we lose another game. It sucks. Oh my god. Well, it is playing to our outs, right? We're playing to our outs. So we're doing the best we can with what we got. Question is, can I afford to get him for damage? Any of these are manland? I think we just get in here. Because if he doesn't remove these or defend or kill me, then I win. But we are out of call. Fuck me. Attacks. It doesn't have haste. Ooh. We win. We win. We make a copy, and we draw 2 cards, and we're gonna get more of these. We're gonna have 5. So this is why this like smells great. So we're gonna create a top copy, and we're gonna draw 2 cards and discard a card. So we're gonna copy, and it's also gonna copy these twice. So we're gonna have 5 of these. 3 of them we're gonna get through. GG. Let's go. Let's fucking go. See, this is what the deck can do. And I know this deck here isn't specifically meta, but you know, we had to draw our way out of it. We had to hit the right card at the right time. Let's go. And that's the fun of playing like the Colorstorm Stallion, but also like the effectiveness of it. We dropped from 1799 to 1800 with the win. Don't know how that works. Yeah. So we definitely need a few more wins to go back up. The highest rank I've had since this deck since last night when I got to Mythic is like 1010, and I wanted to break 1000 and to start recording, like show you guys, but we didn't get there. But a couple more games, hopefully a couple more wins would be nice. I do love this deck. It's super fun. I love the control aspect. I've always been like more of a control player anyway. But it's almost like you switch from control to tempo because you're kind of like running away with the game as you start to build mana. So this deck, this hand, we don't mind as well. I keep keeping 2 landers. It's like a really bad example I'm setting for you guys. Like gamble. But we can kill something on turn 1 if we have to. We can Prismari Charm right here, which we're going to do to make sure it's there. Fuck me. All right. Again, especially against blue-white, this is not good. It could be Jeskai as well. Oh, fuck. All right. I gotta stop gambling with these hands. I guess I'm like I said, it's a bad example. I should be mulliganing for 3 lands, unless I have like the last game where I had just tons of removal, tons of interaction. I'm not going to discard a card. There's no point. You wait till I draw mana, sir. So this should be a Jeskai Revelation deck. Yeah, it probably is. And these are one of the decks that we struggle with most. So I could quit here, but I'm going to show you guys because it's pretty slow generally. Um, I usually also have an Abrade to hit this early. But these decks are kind of slow to get to the point. Oh, it's also playing that black spell that can't be countered, the Exiles. It's also like a, what do you call it? Now I'm going to have to discard here because I want to hold up my negate. And we don't really need the Burst Lightning that bad. Not as bad as the other cards that can cost 5 mana or do cost 5 mana. But the problem with these decks is, yeah, once they get a Mistrise Village down, there's not a lot you can do, right? You have to be keeping parity with mana so that you can respond to their tap out of Jeskai Revelation with a Mistrise Village with like a big traumatic critique. So we're, like I said, we're not going to win this game. We're just too far behind on mana. We got really, really far behind. He's probably going to remove this here. But I need to like make him do stuff. See, there's the card I was telling you about. Can't be countered. It's a Helix. It exiles an all-in permanent. So this is like Jeskai Black. This is a very solid deck. It's a little too controlly for my taste. Although I'm doing very similar things, I guess. I just feel happier about my win condition and like how quickly I can actually push. So like here, the tablet's just going to get countered. Um, so I'm just going to run out another horse. But at some point, he's going to start playing Jeskai Revelations, and we're just going to. We're already at 14 life. We're going to fall super far behind. Then I don't gain any life in this deck. But why quit? You guys can see how the Jeskai Black deck plays out. And you can see me try and fight my way through with less than half as much mana. I don't really need to hit their tablet because they're just so far ahead. But he's going to normalize this like 1,000%. Well, look at that. My percentages are way off. Useful. So now we can actually hold up negate and then abrade, tablet, end turn. But like I said, we're too far behind. We're not coming back in this game. That just Agent of Chaos. We're so far behind. Just do what I can with what I got. We're gonna get Great Halt with Biblioplex beatdowns. So my thoughts are here, play it as a blocker. It's probably gonna get removed, but if we can block with it, does this get pumped though, right? I mean, yes, I know I should have just quit by now, but come on. We like to play Magic. Alright, alright, alright. I get it, buddy. You don't like the horse. Probably could play this card in this deck. Let's see the counters. I guess he can turn on the other one on end step, cast a spell on his main phase, and then kill me by pumping both of them. Probably you can't bounce the fucking land. Whatever. Good game. I'm done now. I'm done. All right. I would love to get a couple of wins here, though. I think I'm worried we're gonna bounce to the percentages. Ooh, brutal. Come on. Don't like that. Don't like coming on to show you a deck and going down. Come on, horsies. We were doing so well. We were really doing well. I think this is mostly my fault for keeping 2 land hands. Okay, 3 lands. Better. 3 lands. This is a pretty great starting hand. But again, if we're playing against like fucking Superior Spider-Man, it's not going to matter. Some decks that are like creature heavy. Um, oh god, it's another Jeskai deck. It's going to be annoying. Decks that are creature heavy and have what do you call it? Cavern of Souls are also difficult to beat, but only if we can't remove the creatures, right? So because it's a combo deck that uses the graveyard, I don't want to like tech best of one for like graveyard. It's just not that important. This deck should be, knock on fucking wood, a little bit easier to beat. Especially since he's on like no cards. But we can also kill the Sanctuary with an Abrade. Yep. You have your little thing. So I kind of don't want to play Tablet here, but I have so much land that I kind of do because I just figure I'm not going to hit a land with it. And just the spells that whiff are annoying, but I'd rather just get the mana down. See, like, I don't give a fuck about that. That's fine. Resplendent. See, like, awesome. I could kill it with Chromatic Critique next turn, so we don't need to even. Ooh, now this is a little different. Can still Traumatic Critique it. This deck, I'm sure, means to go faster, but it's going pretty slow right now. They had a low mulligan, and now I'm just picking apart their threats. That's another nice thing about this deck versus the other versions of Colorstorm Stallion that play Molten Core Maestro is that, like, we don't give a fuck about the graveyard. Like, our graveyard, have it. I don't play Flow State. I don't play Sorcerer Schemes. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't think any of our cards have flashback. It's just go ahead and pick apart my graveyard. And I hate when I play a deck that relies on my graveyard or really wants to utilize my graveyard, and I just literally just so many things naturally prey on your graveyard. People play Soul Guide Lanterns and shit like that. So it's nice. Ooh, this played this turn, right? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna do. Can I do this? Yeah, I can do this and keep up 3 steps ahead. Like so because like so this is like another time where you're like looking at your hand and you're going, okay, they're faltering. I've got a counterspell to back up the Stallion. The Stallion sticks. They're gonna lose this game. They might have a board wipe, but it's highly unlikely that we die here. They need a second white mana to wipe the board as well. We should get the win here. Just like us in the last game, they're just so far behind now. Ooh. I don't want to overcommit in case they do have a board wipe. We don't really have any 5x spells. We can do the 3 steps ahead but it's not really that necessary. Just be patient sometimes where you've got an advantage. And, we're basically almost at critical mass for traumatic critique, right? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we got a traumatic critique for 12 right now. Yeah, and then you go down a land here. Because you're never going to do a board sweeper when you just activated one of the lands you need, right? I can do all modes, which is great. We're going to get 2 more horses. Mega 3 steps ahead value. Come at me, bro. Alright. So I'm sure he knows he's dead, but we don't have a counterspell, so we're not going to put any more horses on the board. Not casting. We might copy somehow. But if I can get 2 more spells here, he dies. Gotta do it. 1, 2, 4. That's fine. They never want to admit that it's over when they know it's over. Show you my other stallion. Woohoo! Back in the numbers. All right, come on. Let's get another win. Let's get another win. For the boys, for the brother, for all of the horses. Let's go. Be a good game against a good deck with a good draw, and show you guys how we can get a good win. All right, come on. But I don't want this video to go too much longer, so this might be the last game regardless, unless I got a really bad taste in my mouth afterwards. Hopefully I can just show you how it's done with 3 mana. Not the best interaction, depending on what our opponent's doing, but it's interaction, and we got a tablet, so it is along the lines of what we're trying to do. Oh god. Okay, these decks are really hard to deal with sometimes. If you don't start removing these creatures right away, we're gonna die. But the negate will kind of help if he tries to just play like a Feather of Flight or whatever. That's also fine, but this is gonna grow, so I need to like kill this before it gets too big. And before he can like untap with a Shard Mage's Rescue to make it indestructible. Because they'll play like Seam Rips like nothing for nothing. Alright, so I want to try and hit interaction. I guess I can hold up the counterspell 1 turn. If you hit like if I hit a Birth Lightning while he's tapped out, it's great because I kill that, It really is, this is like Boggles, right? This is like standard Boggles. It's very difficult to deal with once they get rolling, and you have to have enough mana to beat an enchanted creature with like Sheltered by Ghosts on it. So you have to have Ward 2, and like there's the other creature, the 2/2 that naturally has Ward 2, which you have to remove before it gets Sheltered by Ghosts on it. Otherwise, it's just a massive fucking problem. But here, like, I have to let the creature resolve, yeah, because that's the problem. And I need to pull like a Prismari Charm, and then that fucks his whole shit up. You know what I mean? And we got plenty of ways to interact. We're just not looking at them. Okay. So I can kill one and maybe hit the other. Yeah, I think that's the plan. Now look at 2 more cards. Negative, Captain. So having the Ashley's command is huge. So I think right now we can't cast 3 steps ahead, and we're gonna have to start like playing from the other side. Do I want to discard Traumatic Critique? 3 steps ahead. I think 3 steps ahead is expendable because we can Ashley's command. We should be able to wipe their board unless he grows something like really big, and then have Traumatic Critique to ping off the next threat. Collected Company for things, for non-creature, non-land permanents, and its sorcery speed. So, when I first started playing Magic, Poco was in Standard, and it was fucking oppressive. It was just annoying. Okay, see, this is bad. I need, I do need like Prismari Command to bounce this fucking guy. I'm not going to be able to make enough mana to kill him. Fuck my life. All right, so I think we just die to the Scavenger. There's no way to get a Prismari Command this turn. Guess I can keep up 1 mana in case. Um, there it is. Prismari Command. I keep saying Prismari. I mean Prismari Charm. We played a land this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I survive, I can bounce it, but I might just be dead. So don't get your hopes up, guys. We're going to ditch 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to ditch the Fable passage because it's just more important to have the interactions. 6, no double strike, no. He goes seam rip, seam rip. He gets to 8. It's not that bad. We can bounce the Optimistic Scavenger and the Ethereal Armor falls off. That's bad. That's almost it. I think we're dead the way he did that. Yep. Oh my god. We're like 1 draw short with Prismari Charm and he can't win the game because he'll have no creatures to put it on. So that was a bit rough. Like I said at the beginning of the game, oh, we don't have like early removal. It kind of fucked us. Anyway, that sucks because I think that was what 1 win out of like 5 games. Still in the numbers, and I will try and like bring you guys up to speed if we can get some more wins later on. I am gonna upload this video because I do love this deck. Everything I said about it is true. Playing with it's great. You guys, if you can make it, you should make it and try it out. But I appreciate you watching. Like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. And hopefully by the end of the season, we'll have like a higher ranking. But hey, Mythic for the second straight month in a row after like never trying to get to Mythic, never like grinding. 2 decks that made it super easy to get there. This one is like even better than the Mathematics deck, the loot deck. And yeah, it was really a good time. Sorry we didn't get more wins in the video, but we wouldn't be where we are if we hadn't been winning with the deck. All right, so thank you guys very much. I'll see you in the next one, and much love.